Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan and thank you so much for clicking on one of my bookish videos. Today I am super excited because I'm going to be filming another Doing Book Stuff With Me vlog, which are my favorite videos to watch on YouTube, but are now my favorite types of vlogs to film. Stay tuned if you want to watch me doing all of the bookish stuff. I'm going to be doing a little book haul and book mail haul. I'm going to be reading a highly anticipated release, Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, updating my reading journal and doing my February spreads, and reshelving and reorganizing some of my books. So let's get right into it. To start, it only feels right to start with my little bookish outfit sweatshirt of the day. And today's sweater that I'm wearing is my Dear Reader sweater, which is from Rebel and Fleur. This is the softest sweater ever. I'm so obsessed with it. It's perfect for the winter months and it combines Taylor Swift and books, which are my two favorite things in the whole world. So I needed it immediately. Okay, so I thought that we would start off with a little book haul of some of the book mail I've gotten in the past week. To start, I was sent The Bones Beneath My Skin by TJ Klune, and this book comes out on February 4th, which is super exciting. I was not expecting to receive this at all. It showed up yesterday and I was so excited because I love TJ Klune. I have had the privilege of reading a few of his recent releases early. This was gifted to me from Tor, so thank you very much to them. This is a thriller mystery fiction type book. I read it in a reading vlog that I posted recently, so I'll try to link that. I really enjoyed it. I feel like it was a different genre for him to be doing more of a thriller and mystery with paranormal extraterrestrial beings, but it also had his typical found family and young, very creative, quirky characters that I adored. Yeah, it was different for him, but I really enjoyed this one. Next up is a book that I have already read and absolutely loved, and when HarperCollins reached out to ask if I wanted a new paperback copy of Yellowface that has a very, very special little excerpt in it, I obviously had to say yes. So thank you very much to Harper Voyager for this gifted book. I read this at the end of 2023 and it was one of my favorite books of the year. It is a satire literary fiction book about a writer who essentially plagiarizes her dead best friend's final book that she was writing, and it was just really, really clever. I absolutely love this and actually have it on my list of books that I want to reread this year. So I'm really excited to have this paperback copy, specifically because in the paperback copy there is a sneak peek of the first chapter of Calabasas, which is R.F. Kuang's next upcoming release. I will do anything to get my hands on any crumb of Calabasas. I am dying to read this book, as HarperCollins knows. So I'm super, super excited to read this excerpt and get more excited for this release that I cannot stop thinking about. Okay, so an advanced copy that I just got sent was Arcana Academy by Elise Kova, and this was sent to me by DelRey, so thank you to them for the free book. I love you guys. I don't know too much about this book, but my friend Catherine was posting about it when she received the advanced copy, and I looked up the summary of it and instantly knew that I needed to read this book. It is releasing in July and it's a dark academia, enemies to lovers, magic system romantasy, and I've heard really, really good things from people that have already read the early copy, so I am super excited to read this one and share what I think. Last but not least, the one book that I did purchase this month, because I'm trying to be on a book buying ban, but I told myself I will let myself buy new releases if I know I'm going to read them right away, or I read an early copy and want a physical copy because I loved it and want to reread, and that is Unloved by Peyton, Corinne. Love this book so much. First of all, a moment for how beautiful the color and the cover is. I was so lucky to read an early copy of this. I have talked about this series. It's a hockey romance series before on this channel, but I read Unsteady, which is the first book in this series, when Peyton was self-publishing and fell in love with her writing, and I absolutely loved Freddie's character in this book. He just was everything to me, so I was really excited to find this early at Barnes & Noble. I found it about a week and a half before its release because this also comes out on February 4th. Yeah, I'm super excited to have my hands on a physical copy now. Okay, so you've been seeing me work on my book journal, and I wanted to do a quick update since it's now February. So I filled in my Goodreads challenge with the 20 books I read in January, which is crazy. I told myself I was gonna slow down, and I feel like I did, and I still read that much, but a pretty good variety, which I'm really happy with. And then I also filled in my 25 books in 2025. I read a few this month, which I always try to start off the year strong with filling out a few and reading a few because it just motivates me to actually get through my list. And then I also updated my reading log with the actual books and then the format I read it in, and updated a few books off my physical TBR. And then let's see, I did add a little arc tracker of my top arcs that I wanted to read per month when they come out. And then this was my January spread. I literally copied this from my book journal from 2023. I normally just do a fun little month and picture, list out my little TBR on this side. I really like how this one turned out. And I also added this for my last video with my winter TBR and book recs, and I've read a few of these now, which is really good. And then this is what I was just working on, my February TBR spread. I really like how this turned out with the pink colors, and I have a really good TBR for this month. This could be like possibly my best list. And yeah, that's what I've done so far. Okay, so next up, I really need to put my books away because right now I have piles of books in my room and my brother's room from filming content. This is what happens. You just get piles of books laying everywhere that I need to put away. As you can see, I literally have like missing shelves. So we are going to very quickly reorganize and put away my piles of books to make me feel a little bit more put together. I am really hoping to redo my book corner soon because honestly, it's a little crowded and I don't love it. But for now, we are going to focus on decluttering and reorganizing stuff. For context, I also have this huge pile of all of my Magnolia Parks books that I need to put away because I was filming content for Jess's birthday. Gotta put them back on their shelf. Tuesday, February 4th. I've been waiting for this day for months because it is Deep End release day. I cannot believe that I finally have this gorgeous book in my hands. I will say I am low-key a sprayed edges hater. I just don't think they're necessary on every single new book and just book in general, but seeing these in person, I actually really enjoyed the sprayed edges. The color, like I'm so obsessed. So I'm going to be reading Deep End this week. It is February 4th and I am so excited. This is Ali Hazelwood's new romance book, and not only is it a romance, but it is a sports romance, college romance, which is her first in the sports romance world. Ali honestly never disappoints me. I love her characters and just the depth that she puts into her characters, especially in a romance book. And I have so many friends who have read early copies of this book that have absolutely loved it. It is like their top book of the year, and I have been waiting so long to read it. So I am so excited. I have high expectations. I'm really hoping that it doesn't let me down. I know that there's going to be a lot of spice and steam in this book. So we'll see how much of that I can take, but I will say I think her characters, and especially her male main characters, are some of my favorite just written male main characters in romance books, and I have a really good feeling about this. So let's dive right in. Hello. It is time for a deep end update, which is so overdue because I was super busy last night and I didn't have time to check in, but I still binged a good chunk of this book. I'm now honestly like more than halfway through. I'm on page 235, and as you can see, I've made pretty good progress. What is there to say other than I'm obsessed with this book? Like, I had a good feeling because so many people that I trust loved this. Ali Hazelwood has never disappointed me. Like, I feel like I really have loved every single one of the books that I've read of hers, but something about this book, the feeling in it is crazy. From the beginning, literally like the first 2 chapters, I was like, I'm gonna love this. I think this is gonna be 5 stars. What can I say? I have a feeling that this book is going to get a lot of backlash from people who don't like spice and don't like smut, which is valid. And you know, sometimes I go back and forth. I don't necessarily love a lot of spice if it's just thrown in for no reason. Please go into this book knowing that it is a very sexual book. And if you don't like that, you are not gonna like this book. It's not just a bunch of smut scenes thrown together. The book is literally about a sexual relationship between the 2 main characters and the dynamics of their relationship, kind of them just exploring their sexuality with each other as young college students. And I think for that reason, and the way that Ali is having the characters be young college students, experimenting and trying out different things, it's so much more than just random smut scenes, if that makes sense. So I think if you would enjoy that aspect of it, you will like this book. But if you do not like spice, do not read this, because I'm not looking forward to people saying that they hate the book because it has too much spice, when that's basically what the book is about. So that's my cautionary tale. Yeah, I'm just really loving it so far. I feel like it has the classic Ali Hazelwood of them both being scientists. They're both geniuses. They're working together in like a academic setting, which is her classic stamp. But at the same time, the sports romance part of it is so good. He's a swimmer and she's a diver. So they're kind of like in the same sports space and interacting with each other then. But it's just very clear that Lucas has had his eyes on her for a really long time, and I'm loving it. I'm hopefully gonna binge a lot more tonight. Friday. I am about to sit down and finish reading Deep End right now. I have about 110 pages left, I think. So I'm very, very close to the end. I'm gonna sit down and finish this probably in the next hour. I'm so excited, but I also don't want it to be done. I have been basically binging it every time I've been reading it, but I also have been trying to draw it out. There's just something with Ali Hazelwood's writing and her characters that draw you in so much. You just don't want to stop reading. My updates in terms of how I'm feeling and where I'm at, loving Scarlett's character. I feel like I can really relate to her. There was a specific line, and I forget where it is. Basically, it was her putting into action what her therapist has been teaching her in terms of unpacking her trauma about her injury and all of the events surrounding it, and then also just trying to be less type A, everything has to be perfect. And she basically was like saying to her friend or her mom, I'm going to do my dives today and it may not be perfect, but that's good enough for me. I can really relate to that. So I just am loving the way that Ali has been writing her character, and I feel like Scarlett has gone through such a transformation, especially with Lucas and their relationship, but also also just with her friends and her confidence and letting go some of the internal pressure she puts on herself. And I'm just loving her. And as for Lucas and Scarlet, honestly, this is not as spicy as I expected based on some of the different reactions I've been seeing. There's really not that many like spice scenes. I feel like a lot of the book is just focusing on Scarlet and Lucas and their backstory and their connection with each other. I'm loving it. Like, this is easily my new favorite Ali Hazelwood book. I'm so excited to finish it. They're kind of in a bit of a standoff right now. There's definitely some miscommunication, but you can just tell that both of them have heavy feelings for each other and they don't want to admit it because they don't really know if what they're doing is real or an actual relationship. So I'm curious to see how this ends because I know a lot of people love the ending. Let's go finish Diva. I just finished her and I loved it. I have no notes. Like, honestly, this is officially my favorite Ali Hazelwood book, 100%. It was perfect to me. I have a feeling that this is going to be a book, like I said earlier, that people have mixed opinions about. I feel like there are going to be a lot of people, including me, who absolutely loved it. It was just a perfect romance. And I think that there's going to be people going in with different expectations who don't enjoy it. If you want a romance book that combines sports romance, college sports romance, swimmer and a diver, you never get in a sports romance. If you want two characters who are genius, caring, smart people who are maturing and becoming more emotionally intelligent and in tune with themselves, are enjoying their sexuality and their romantic relationships and trying to figure out what they want, this is the book for you. I just loved it. Honestly, I will say from the beginning, I didn't really know how I was going to feel like specifically about connecting with the characters, and normally those are the books that I rate higher and really enjoy, and I really loved Scarlett's character in this book. I don't think I was expecting to love Scarlett's character as much as I did because I've been hearing so much about Lucas, who I adored, but Scarlett for me was just such a relatable female main character. You know, was not a college athlete. I didn't go through the types of injuries and trauma that she did in terms of the sports world, but I could really relate to, especially in your early 20s, just overworking yourself, trying too hard, being a type A student and person, and just putting too much pressure on yourself. I just loved her little bits of therapy and all the things that she did to kind of put herself in uncomfortable situations and grow with them, including her relationship with Lucas. So I absolutely adored her. And honestly, this book was just not as smutty as I feel like people made it out to be. It definitely had kinkier things, but it was not that extreme compared to other romance books, which did kind of make me feel like, am I gonna rate it 5 stars? Because I almost was expecting more based on the reactions, but I loved it too much. So I definitely think that this is gonna be a top romance book of the year for me. I'm curious to see if it holds up in my top books by the end of the year. I feel like it could. Ali Hazelwood does no wrong for me personally. I just love her characters, female and male. 5 out of 5 book in this video. Okay, so that is it for this little doing bookish things with me vlog. I had so much fun vlogging for this video, so definitely let me know if you enjoy these types of bookish stuff vlogs. And I feel like I had a very successful little bookish 2 weeks of my life. I got some amazing books, especially with new releases. February is just, I think, one of the best months right now of the year with new releases. Found a new 5-star read, Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, and I worked on my book journal a lot, which is always good. So definitely, if you enjoyed this type of video, let me know, and make sure you subscribe for future bookish videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!